Indianapolis, the Redskins need a quarterback. That much is obvious. If the franchise plans on drafting one, their current position in the middle of the first round might not be high enough. I think if they're going to want a quarterback, they're going to have to move up, NBC Sports analyst Chris Sims said Wednesday on the Redskins Talk podcast. Sims' comments were about the top passers available in this year's crop, and the names at the top are Kyler Murray, Dwayne Haskins and Drew Lock. Quarterbacks always get selected ahead of what most people expect, and it seems like the 2019 draft will be no different. At 15, if they want a quarterback, I think they're going to have to move up, Sims said. The Skins hold 4 picks in the top 100 of the draft, and additional selections in the 5th and 7th rounds as well. Should a guy like Haskins slip out of the top 10, like Sims suggested, the Redskins could perhaps use an additional 3rd and or 5th round picks to go up from 15 and grab their QB. There are other options available as well. Plenty of scouts are high on Duke's Daniel Jones, and he's been connected to the Redskins in various mock drafts. There are plenty more QBs that will be drafted as well, including names like Ryan Finley, Jarrett Stidham, Brett Rypien and Will Grier. For Sims, however, those guys aren't in the same class as Murray, Haskins or Lock. The Daniel Jones of the world, who I liked but I don't think he's physically in the class of those 3. I like the Jarrett Stidham kid, too, and I've got to do a little more of a deeper dive. Will Grier, I think they're the next phase down. Ryan Finley in that category, too. The Redskins have plenty of holes, and giving up draft picks to trade up for a quarterback might not be a wise idea. The organization might be gun-shy, too. The specter of the 2012 trade to select Robert Griffin III looms large. The Redskins gave up 3 first-round picks to move up to the 2nd overall pick and select RG3. For most of his rookie year, it looked like a great gamble with a big payoff. Then Griffin got hurt and things fell apart. 7 years later, that trade can't be judged as anything but a failure. Should the Griffin trade hold back another move for a QB, even 7 years later? That's a hard question to answer. What seems clear, and is becoming increasingly so at the NFL's scouting combine, is if the Redskins want one of the elite QB prospects in this draft, 15 might be too low to get that done. More Redskins news. Indianapolis, NFL draft coverage consists of many elements including mocks and big board rankings. Like the Washington Redskins at left guard, NBC Sports Washington had a hole in one of those areas, until now. Here is our first crack at assessing the 2019 pool regardless of draft order or team needs. Perhaps most notably, these evaluations come just as the annual NFL Combine kicks off. Expect a new round of assessments after all the drills, measurements and interviews change projections or reinforce beliefs. Before diving in, some quick notes. Even if the next mock draft from NBC Sports Washington's Ben Standig includes 3 to 4 quarterbacks in the first round, consider that a factor of need and positional importance. Initial conversations and public comments from head coaches and general managers at the Combine paint a picture of uncertainty with the passing prospects. The top 4, Dwayne Haskins, Kyler Murray, Drew Lock, Daniel Jones, have their backers, but the passion pre-Combine lacks in comparison to 2018's group. Defenders dominate this year, particularly on the line and with the edge pass rushers. One former front executive told NBC Sports Washington he would have 26 to 28 defenders among the top 32 players on his big board. The receiver class lacks high-end talent yet offers a deep crop of candidates from the 2nd to the later rounds. Rankings for 2 players we see moving up during the evaluation process, DK Metcalf and Preston Williams, reflect such anticipation. Murray isn't the only player teams are anxiously awaiting to hear about measurables. Houston defensive tackle Ed Oliver, the 2017 Outland Trophy winner, receives comparisons to All-Pro Aaron Donald. That's a combination of production, but also initial fears of size limitations on the pro level. Donald, of course, turned into one of the league's most dominant defenders. Oliver's draft projection may rise or fall depending on his official height and weight. His official college bio lists him at 6'2", 293 pounds. Oliver is a tough conversation because most of us can't wait to see what his height and weight is this week because we don't even know, Raiders general manager and former draft analyst Mike Mayock said Wednesday during his official podium session. If you look at historic data at analytics, it tells you that his height and weight probably shouldn't work in the NFL, but when a guy like that runs 4.5 something at the combine, that changes the analytics a little bit. I think he's one of the guys this week that most the teams are really intrigued, not just with his height and weight, but how the kid works out and how he handles himself. He is really an interesting case because he's a little different than the other potential first-round linemen out there. 1 Nick Bosa, Ohio State. 2 Quinnen Williams, DT, Alabama. 3 Josh Allen, OLB, Kentucky. 4 Devin White, LB, LSU. 5 Montez Sweat, Mississippi State. 6 Greedy Williams, CB, LSU. 7 Ed Oliver, DT, Houston. 8 Dexter Lawrence, DT, Clemson. 9 Rashawn Gary, DL, Michigan. 10 DK Metcalf, WR, Mississippi. 11 Dwayne Haskins, QB, Ohio State. 12 Kyler Murray, QB, Oklahoma. 13 Clelin Ferrell, Clemson. 14 Christian Wilkins, DL, Clemson. 15 Ja'Kai Polite, OLB, Florida. 16 DeAndre Baker, CB, Georgia. 17 Byron Murphy, CB, Washington. 18 Brian Burns, Florida State. 19 Devin Bush, ILB, Michigan. 20 Jonah Williams, OT, Alabama. 21 Jawan Taylor, OT, Florida. 22 TJ Hawkinson, Iowa. 23 Jerry Tillery, DT, Notre Dame. 24 Cody Ford, ET, Oklahoma. 25 Marquise Brown, WR, Oklahoma. 26 Josh Jacobs, RB, Alabama. 27 Noah Fant, Iowa. 28 Taylor Rep, S, Washington. 29 Jonathan Abram, S, Mississippi State. 30 Preston Williams, WR, Colorado State. 31 Draymond Jones, DT, Ohio State. 32 Dalton Risner, OL, Kansas State. 33 Andre Dillard, OT, Washington State. 34 N'Keal Harry, WR, Arizona State. 35 AJ Brown, WR, Mississippi. 36 Irv Smith, Alabama. 37 Jalen Ferguson, LA Tech. 38 Zach Allen, Boston College. 39 Deontay Thompson, S, Alabama. 40 Nasser Adderley, FS, Delaware. 41 Greg Little, OT, Mississippi. 42 Jeffrey Simmons, DT, Mississippi State. 43 Mac Wilson, LB, Alabama. 44 Drew Lock, QB, Missouri. 45 Daniel Jones, QB, Duke. 46 O'Shea Nexamines, Old Dominion. 47 Paris Campbell, WR, Ohio State. 48 Kelvin Harmon, WR, NC State. 49 Chase Winovich, LB, Michigan. 50 Damian Harris, RB, Alabama. More Redskins news. The Eagles intend to let Nick Foles leave via free agency this offseason, and his availability will help the Redskins in a big way. Just not that way. The Redskins don't have the money to sign Foles. They don't have the cap room. With just $17 million in salary cap space and having to pay Alex Smith $20 million this season even though he's unlikely to play, adding another high-priced quarterback would be bad team building. That doesn't mean Foles' free agency can't help Washington, though. The Jaguars should be aggressive in their pursuit of Foles. Jacksonville has a team built to win, now, as illustrated by a 2017 appearance in the AFC title game. And there is plenty of speculation that Foles lands with the Jags, too. A lot can change once free agency opens March 13th, but for now, the Jacksonville Jaguars will head into free agency as the favorite to land Nick Foles. Adam Schefter, @AdamSchefter, February 27, 2019. So how does Foles going to Jacksonville help the Redskins? It's simple. If the Jaguars spend big money to bring Foles in, and it will require big money to land the former Super Bowl MVP, then the team won't be looking at quarterbacks in the NFL draft. That would mean one of the draft's best passers has one less team in the market, and in turn, could push a quarterback like Dwayne Haskins, Kyler Murray, Drew Lock or Daniel Jones closer to the Redskins when they pick at no. 15. NBC Sports' Chris Sims suggested that Washington will have to move up in the draft to get one of the best QB prospects. If Jacksonville isn't looking for a quarterback with a no-cent pick, maybe that pressure to move up diminishes. Of the teams in the top 10 selections of the NFL draft, there aren't that many with obvious needs at quarterback. The New York Giants and the Jaguars were the two most obvious, and if the Jags sign Foles, they're off that list. There are other teams ahead of the Skins that could take a QB, like Denver, Miami or even the Cardinals at no. 1 overall, but none of those teams have to take a QB. If the Redskins want Haskins, Murray, Locke or Jones, they'd be well served to see Foles sign in Jacksonville. Less competition for quarterbacks means less need to trade up and higher chances of landing a new face of the franchise. More Redskins news.